Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am doing a video today that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and it is how to grow your hair. Now you can't even really see me here because of the top that I've got on. It's just all blending in together. I have posted recently a picture on my Instagram. First of all, I will give you a little bit of background as to what my hair journey has been and what I have done since I was a very young girl and all the mistakes I've made. The first time I ever dyed my hair, I must have been about 11, no exaggeration. My mum used to have bright pink hair. By the way, she's probably the reason that I've done all this, because she used to literally dye hair every single week. Even though she told me not to, I just used to think, fuck it, you do it, why can't I do it? First time I ever coloured my hair, my mum dyed her hair pink, and my auntie done it for her, and while she was upstairs in the shower washing her hair off, I ended up saying, please put some pink in my hair, like I'm dying for some pink in my hair, like please. And I think they'd had a few wines, and she put some pink in my hair, and I had pink streaks in my hair and my fringe, and it was just, looking back, absolutely hideous. But at the time I was obsessed with it. Like, I just, you know, when you just get that urge for a little change, well, I have been having that urge since I was literally able to know what dye is. Like, literally, as soon as I see my mum's hair change colour, I must have been like, oh, I need this, like, I need this in my life. That was the first time I ever coloured my hair. After that, I did probably leave it for a couple of years, just had like a couple of little highlights here and there. I was obsessed with Hannah Montana, absolutely obsessed with it. So every time Miley would get her hair coloured, or get a fringe, or get layers, or get her hair done, I would get my hair done every single time a new season would come out. I'd be like, Mum, I need new hair, like I need new hair. My mum is so sad, like she's one of them mums, like she did always say to me throughout the process, like, stop it, like what are you doing? But she wouldn't stop me, do you know what I mean? She was sad, like piercings, tattoos, colour your hair, like she was just like, whatever, sort of make your own mistakes and learn from it, and definitely did. And you know what, actually wouldn't take one thing back that I've done to my hair, to be honest with you, because I wouldn't be where I am today, and my hair is probably the healthiest it's ever been in its whole entire life. So I'm actually so glad that I actually did doing it to that extent, even though it was horrendous at the time. I reckon around about the age of 15, I started messing around with like home dyes, box dyes, and I dyed my hair a little bit darker. I went darker before I went lighter. Did I? Oh, I can't even remember. I've got loads of pictures, so I'm going to make a collage of like all of the different colours that I've been, just to show you the extent of actually what I was like. Like, I used to dye my hair every single week. Like, I went blonde, went dark, I used to buy bleach from the Tesco, I used to just smack it on my head. I used to, in fact, once I actually remember me and my mate, I wanted like an ombre when the ombre was out, and my hair was like a horrendous colour. I think I was like tinting it with like a level 9 or something. It was just absolutely horrendous, and I was using a tint, so I wanted like an ombre. So we went to the Tesco, and I literally bought like a dark brown, a medium brown, and bleach, and I got me mate, who has never in her life ever touched someone's hair. Like, she didn't have a clue what she was doing, neither did I, to be honest, but she's painted like a dark root on for me, and then we like blended in the brown, like the like darker blonde, and then just like put bleach on the end. To be honest, I will try and find a picture of it. To be honest, it weren't the worst, considering that we had literally no experience whatsoever. It was not the worst, but it was still bad. And like, I think from that point, that was probably where like it started to get worse, because as soon as I got like a little bit blonde, I was like, oh my god, like I need to be blonde. Like, and I feel like this is the case with most people. Like, once you see a little bit of blonde in your hair, you just want to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And like, honest to god, if you are at the point now where you are wanting to get blonder, unless you're doing it properly, don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So after that, I probably that's when I started bleaching my hair from the root. Now, bad, really bad. Like, this was horrendous. So for a few years, I used to just tint my hair with like a level 10, so like the lightest blondes, and I tint it again all the time. So like from the Tesco, like we're getting any professional colours, which I don't know why, to be honest, because my mum has always had like a Sally's card, but I reckon I just was too scared to ask her. I used to just tie my hair and then like come down the stairs, and she'd be like, what have you done now? Like, what are you doing? You're gonna end up with never hair. And I used to be like, oh, shut up. Because at first, nothing happens to your hair, so you think you're invincible. Like, you think, oh yeah, I'm sound, shut up, like, my hair's fine, like, it's dead strong, you can take anything, but you are soon fooled. I looked at my hair blonde and bleached it all over. Now I bleached my full entire head. This was probably when I was like 17 maybe, and then from that point I just continued to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Now when I started working in a salon when I was about 16, I started learning a little bit about hair, and obviously I knew what I was doing wasn't right. But to be honest, I'm being asked. I really being asked. Everyone in the salon used to say to me, stop bleaching your hair, what are you doing? Stop bleaching it. Every day I'd come in with a new colour, I'd have a new toner on my hair. It'd be grey one day, it'd be fucking candy floss the next. Like, literally, you couldn't write it. I honestly couldn't go like a week or two without dyeing my hair. Now, I used to go out every Friday, every Saturday when I had a life, and I tell you now, if there was even a glimmer of a root, oh no. Like, I would sit there, each on my roots, at like 7 o'clock in the night after work, and then I'd wash my hair and do my makeup and go out. Like, there was no way I was walking out that door with one bit of a root. Like, it was not happening. So it got to the point where I was bleaching my hair, like, literally near enough every single week. And when I say it was white, like, white is an understatement as to what colour my hair was. It was see-through. Like, it was literally, there was no colour left in my hair whatsoever. It was absolutely horrendous, and it was like straw. But again, I being asked, I just thought, fuck it, I love it. Like, it's blonde, it's fabulous. I just thought it was fabulous. So then I ended up, so I stayed dead blonde for a few years, like white blonde. My hair just kept getting shorter and shorter, but to be honest, it did take well to the bleach. Like, if it's one thing that I will say about my hair, like, considering what I put it through, it has like took well. It took a while before I really started thinking, shit, this is really starting to snap now. So when I ended up working in the last salon that I worked in, the girls, I was getting a bit older then, I was more like matey with the girls in the salon, and they were like, right, we need to sort this out, like, this is horrendous, like, we need to do something. So I ended up like experimenting a little bit. I got a little stretch root, I'd like the money piece at the front, and like put a darker root on, put a few low lights in it, but again, I still couldn't help myself. Like, a stretch root was just like another thing for me. So once I'd had a stretch root, I was like, right, let's put a few low lights in, and then I was like, I've never done like the low lights, like, let's bleach back over them. Like, there was just something new every week. Like, I was just never happy with my hair. Then I ended up just putting a brown on it. Now, it was probably about a 7. It weren't dark at all. It was still like, you could tell it was bleached to death underneath. So no, in fact, rewind. At the very last stage of me going blonde is when I first got extensions. Now, I used to get the Beauty Work Celebrity Choice weft, the 120 gram weft, and I'd wear that. And the fact that 120 gram weft was like enough compared to my hair now, it is shocking, because that is like not thick at all, really, compared to my hair now, do you know what I mean? So my hair was so thin. I used to wear the Beauty Works 120 gram weft. Now, if you know me, you know how I feel about the Beauty Works. I mean, some of the hair's okay, but for what you pay, it's absolutely shocking. I reckon I used to get about 3 months out of my blonde extensions. Like, they were just absolutely awful. So there's me, 17, absolutely skint, on an apprenticeship, working my hardest, trying to learn. And to be honest with you, at this point, like, I was quite educated in the hair world. Like, I knew what I was doing when it comes to other people, but when it comes to me, I just didn't give a shite. I just thought, oh, fuck it, it's ruined anyway. Like, at first, it was like, oh, no, it's not ruined, I'll just keep going. And then it got to, like, oh, fuck it, it's ruined anyway, I might as well just ruin it even more. So I started wearing extensions, and then I ended up getting, like, a little bit of a stretch root again, and then it got really bad, so I was like, right, I'm gonna dye it off. So, dyed it brown, stayed brown for, like, a year, maybe. And after this year, my roots were probably to like here, so I had a natural root to probably about there, and then all the ends of my hair was only to about here, I reckon. All the ends of my hair was still bleached underneath, like completely bleached to death. But I was like, right, if I give it a good chop, I reckon I can bleach it back up again. I wanted to go back blonde. I was never planning on staying dark, because I don't know, I just weren't feeling it. So tore my extensions out, let me root grow out, for a while. Like, my root was probably about 4 inches, 5 inches long. Like, it was quite long, which was horrendous for me to do. Like, it took effort inside of me to grow that root out. And then one night, I just thought, fuck it, I'm going back blonde. So I bought everything that I needed. Obviously by this point I was using professional stuff from the wholesalers and I was using professional colours, so I went to wholesalers, got everything I needed, got all my bleach, got all my toners, got everything I needed, and I spent about £600 on hair extensions. They were like 24 inch I think, silver, gorgeous, again probably BC Works, I can't remember. Don't know whether I'd got over the, don't know whether I'd realised how bad they were at this point, but I spent, like, and I'd worked so hard, like, I just went self-employed at this point, so I'd saved all my pennies up and bought these hair extensions and bought all the bleach and the colour and everything that I needed. So overall it was probably about £700 what I paid. So, oh, this is the story. Now, again, the picture that I've showed you, or I'll try and flash it up again on the screen, it literally breaks my heart. Like, this is the result of the story about what I'm about to tell you. The disaster, the one and only disaster. Oh, honestly, it still pains me to this day to tell the story. So, one day I was in work, this was like the first salon that I ever worked in self-employed, and I'd had a really long day. I reckon I'd worked from like 9 o'clock in the morning until probably about 6, like back to back, no break, and I was meant to be doing my hair like on the Monday, and I just thought, fuck it, you know what, I'm just going to stay up all late tonight and I'm just going to do my hair, even though I was in work the next day. So I started bleaching my hair. Well, me and my friend who was also a hairdresser, I trained with her, we bleached my hair and done it the right way, didn't bleach a natural boot, just bleached all the ends first and then went on and bleached the boot. Now, not gonna lie, I probably shouldn't have done it because my hair probably wasn't like the strongest, but I'd cut the majority of the bleach out because I knew I was putting a lot of extensions in, and it was fine, and to be honest, it probably would have ended up fine. Probably still feeling a little bit dry and stuff, but it would have been alright. So I bleached it all up. It took us hours and hours. Like, honestly, it just took so long. I had to bleach all the ends and then bleach the root, and then I washed it off and then bleached back over the whole entire head again. So it was all nice and even. It didn't feel too bad. It was sound. So all night we were in the salon, like, literally, I think it was probably about 11 o'clock or something before I ended up actually putting the toner on. So I put the toner on my hair, and it was a nice colour, but it was a little bit too light compared to the extensions. The extensions had more of like a grey sort of feel to them, and then my hair was a little bit silver. So at this point I was like, right, I might just either put a darker toner on my hair to match the extensions, but I didn't have one at that point, and I was just like, oh, I'm dying to get them in tonight. But anyway, not naming no names, nothing like that, but I ended up, a friend of mine and another hairdresser ended up coming round. We were sitting there eating a Mackey's. I was sitting with the toner on my head. I put another toner on, I think, at this point, just to like try and make it a little bit of like a deeper silver. Long story short, the other hairdresser that was there was like, I reckon we just do a little bleach shampoo and just bleach it up a tiny little bit more, get that toner out and put a whole fresh new toner on. Now, by this point, I was literally like a sack of shite. I was absolutely destroyed. I've been working from 9 o'clock that morning. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I had work the next day. And I was just made up that there was someone else there who was like, who could like do it for me, like take over a little bit. So I was like, Sans, go ahead, whatever. You do that, I'll get the toner tomorrow. Sans, whatever. So I put my head back in the backwash, and my friend who was with me was like, do you not reckon we take this off now? And the girl's like, no, just leave it, like it's sand. Which, to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell was going on in the backwash, but my hair literally must have been like, it must have been orange, like a luminous orange in the backwash, because before I'd put my head in the back sink, it was pearly white. It was pearly white with a little bit of a silver touch, you know, it was gorgeous, it was nice. I wish I would have, like, my biggest regret is putting my head in the backwash and letting the hairdresser put the bleach shampoo in it. But as I say, I was literally destroyed, young and foolish, and I just thought, fuck it, you take over, because I just can't be asked anymore. All I remember is being at that backwash, putting a towel on my head, sitting up, taking the towel off, and oh my god. Oh my god, I actually forgot to say, by the way, before this, I'd stretched a little bit of a dark root on because I was sticking to the healthier root. I didn't want to have my root because it was when like roots was so in, like when like the little black root was in. So I'd painted the little black root on, And obviously when I put my head in the back wash, I was like, obviously completely avoid the root and just bleach the ends up a little bit, because the root had been painted on like literally as like, it was probably like a 5, I reckon. It weren't that dark, but I'd painted a little bit of a dark root on. Anyway, so back to the story. I just remember sitting up, looking in the mirror, and when I say I have never seen anything like it, it was like what I was showing you there, but wet. So it was, I just looked like someone had set me on fire. I literally looked like the fire emoji with a black root. Like, and bear in mind, the black root was not avoided at all by the bleach, because the bleach had been splattered all over the root whilst my head was in the back. I get really upset talking about it, like, honestly, because it's not even one of them, it's not, I'm not actually not even joking when I say that. It really does upset me, because what, like, your hair as a girl, like, your hair is your world, like, it's everything, you know what I mean? Like, your hair is like, it's literally like that cheesy quote, like, the hair is the crown that you wear. Like, it literally is, like, it was the saddest moment of my life. Like, honestly, it was so sad. And I just looked in the mirror and I just thought, what have you done to me? Like, why have you done this? Like, why did I not just leave it how it was? So I just put the turban back on my head. I reckon it was about 2:30 in the morning by this point. I just put the turban back on my head, and I just was like, I'm going home. I am going home. I can't deal with this. I can't sit here for another second. I'm going home. So I went home, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and oh my God, all of my worst nightmares come true. I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God. And that's when I took that picture of me hair. And when I say, like, I was brushing my hair and it was just coming out in clumps, like clumps and clumps and clumps and clumps and clumps. And I just sat on the bathroom floor in my boyfriend's hands and I sobbed. Like, I sobbed. Like, I knew what, like, like someone could have died. Like, I was hysterical. Rang me mum, the queen of hairdressing disasters, and my mum was just like, girl, get the Alan Howard now. Get your ass to that Alan Howard now. Like, go and get a fucking dye and go and dye your hair dark. Like, and I was just like, I was so devastated, because I'd not only waited a whole year for my hair to, like, you know, get back to a little bit of health before I'd done it, but I just wanted to be blonde. I'd spent all my money on these hair extensions. Like, it was just so sad. Like, it was literally just so sad. And honestly, I will never, ever get over it till the day I die. Like, I will never, ever get over it. So, went to Alan Howard, got the hair extension, got a few dyes and went home. And at first, I just brushed my hair, got all the shit out of it, and I just put, like, a silver toner on it. I don't know why, because I had to go to work, so I thought, I can't go to work with hair like this, so I just put a silver toner on the ends, like a grey, and put it in a bun, used a bit of gel, and went to work. And everyone was like, like, when did that happen? Like, what the fuck? And I was literally just like, no one speak to me, do not mention the hair, do not talk to me. It was literally so bad. But if you've had a bleaching disaster before, you know that it gets a lot worse before it gets better. Like, you think it's bad when it happens, and then the weeks after, oh, it just gets worse. It literally just gets worse. So after that, I went home and I tried to colour over my hair. Now, obviously, my hair had been through fucking hell and back in the past 24 hours. So at first, it wasn't even taking 20 dyes. It was getting khaki. It was fucking green. Oh, it was just an absolute disgrace. Like, it was just a show. So it probably took me about 4 or 5 goes of colouring it before I got it to, like, an alright, like, chocolatey brown. And then I had to colour all the extensions as well, because I weren't buying new extensions. I couldn't afford to buy new extensions. I just spent all my money on these extensions, and then even more money going back to the wholesalers, buying even more colour. Oh, it was just a disaster. I was going back in that Alan Howard like 4 or 5 times in the same day. The girls were literally like, felt so sorry for me. It was awful. So anyway, ended up going dark, and then my hair just got worse and worse and worse, and I ended up getting darker and darker and darker, because every time I washed my hair, it was literally just washing out, because it was that damage underneath. The colour wasn't even holding onto the strands of my hair, and my hair was just falling out. It was just the worst thing ever. Like, it honestly was the worst thing ever. So from that day, I vowed that I swore down that I would never, ever put bleach on my hair ever again. And obviously, bleach isn't the worst thing ever. I bleach my clients' hair every single day, but I just swore I would never ever ever do it, and that was probably about 4 years ago now. And now I'm not gonna lie to you, I have got about 20 nanos in my head. I'll show you. Literally these little teeny tiny nanos. I've got about 20 of them in just around the front, because my hair just doesn't stay in otherwise. Like it's lost it's too like, it's actually too soft, it won't stay in. So I just thought I put a few nanos around the side just so it'll hold a little bit, you know what I mean? But apart from that, this is now my natural hair. Now, anyone who knows me knows that this is literally a miracle. Like it's not, it took time and it took effort, but I never ever thought that I would ever be able to just have my natural hair, and I have went to hell and back to get to this state. So I am embracing it, and I am so proud of how far we've come. But what I wanted to do is just tell you everything that I've done to get to this point, because I know there's so many people in the same position. Don't get me wrong, probably not the exact same position, because I don't think I've ever seen, I've seen a few, but not to that extent. Even to this day, I still haven't seen anything to that extent, but it was really bad. So yeah, I got darker in my hair, and honestly, for probably about 6 months after the disaster, my hair literally just got worse and worse, like underneath, because everything, all the blondes and all the bleaching, my hair was just snapping out and snapping out and snapping out. Now, I am not exaggerating when I say my hair was probably about 3 centimetres all the way around at a point. Like, I had to wear clips at the front of my hair like that to train my hair to stick down, because it would literally stand up. Like, all the way up. It would stand straight up all the way around, because it was that damaged. Like, I'm that short. It was honestly horrendous. So I used to have like rows and rows and rows of a wefting, like probably like seven rows of a weft, and obviously it didn't blend in. It was just a show. Like, it was literally a show. And that's when I sort of discovered the tapes, and then done a little course for the tapes and started wearing tapes, because they just helped me hair to blend in a little bit more. Now I'll talk a bit more about that in a bit, but that's when I was like, shit, like I am literally in shit street here. Like, I basically thought I was going to have to shave my head and start again. So now I'm going to talk about what I've done to get from that point to where I am today. First thing that I'll say is, obviously everything that I say here, not everything that works for me is going to work for you. What I just want to share my personal experience, and then if you do have any questions, feel free to just comment on this video and I will respond. Like, if you're asking me a question, that might help someone else if they read it. So, first thing that I did was I stuck to the dark hair. Now, I was never black. I didn't dye my hair black until about 1.5 years ago. I was like the darkest brown that you can be, but I wasn't black. So, I stuck to the dark hair. Obviously, at first, I had to use permanent colours because it was just washing up over the bleach. So, every single time my root would grow, like, even an inch, half an inch, I would trim an inch off the ends. Now, I would have just cut loads off, but I couldn't, because my hair was literally that short that I couldn't, so I had to gradually do it. So every time I'd get a little bit of a root, I'd be like, right, I'd trim the end. So at this point, my hair was probably literally to about my chin. Like, the back of it was just sitting on the back of my neck. Like, it wasn't even remotely at any length to it. It was not even, you couldn't even call it a bob. It was literally just a mullet. A genuine mullet. Oh! Yes, like, it's so sad. It's literally so sad. Anyway, so I trimmed the ends every single time, and I'd done this until there was no bleach left in my hair. Like, I trimmed and trimmed and trimmed and trimmed and trimmed. As I say, I started wearing tapes all around my face, because my face was where I was like touching my hair the most. I was having to use gel just to keep my hair down in a certain position, and I was wearing it in a pony every single day just so it was like down, and like I wasn't putting heat on it all the time. I just want to say as well, the whole entire time that I've been growing my hair, I have worn extensions. There has not been longer than 24 hours that I have not had extensions in my hair. I just want to stress that, because so many people are like, oh, I just want to take my extensions out and like grow my hair. Like, you can grow your hair with extensions in if you are looking after your extensions, and that is an absolute fact. I am living proof. So you don't have to go through like the ugly, awkward, weird no hair phase. Like, there's just, you don't have to do that. So I started wearing tapes all around the front of my hair, and then I just used to wear a weft at the bottom and the back just to give me some like length and thickness, and then I'd wear tapes. Like, literally I had tapes in up to my part, and I used to religiously wear them, and I would obviously refit them as soon as you needed doing, and blah 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 blah. Now a lot of people don't like tapes. I see hairdressers all the time putting up like they hate tape extensions, blah 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 blah, but no offense, but if you are not correctly applying it and like doing them, you're not gonna like them. They are very difficult, they're sticky, they're a nightmare like as a hairdresser to deal with, but once you get used to them, they are literally the easiest and the best thing in the whole entire world. Like I love tape extensions, I absolutely adore them, and I have had now honestly like tens of 20s of clients who have come to me with the hair in a horrendous state, wore tape extensions, and ended up either taking them out or needing to get new extensions because their hair has grown to the same length as the tapes. I have so many clients who are in this situation, and their hair has thrived and grown in the meantime. Because I think that I did as well, swapping your extension method. Now, like I say, any extensions can be fine as long as you're looking after them properly, but some are kinder to your hair. If you have really, really fine hair, it's not going to be good for you to be wearing a big, thick, heavy weft on your hair. That's just stating the obvious. So tapes are really light, and there's no beads or nothing, and you don't really lose a lot of hair with them because they just stay in your hair. They're not really weighing them down. I think the heaviest that you'll probably find a tape is like 2.5 gram per tape, which is not a lot. So even like the finest of hair, you'll be able to wear a tape with. Next thing that I did is I swapped to semi-permanent colours. Now this is not a necessity, but I think it is definitely a good thing to do, especially if you are looking at changing your hair in the future. Now I don't think I'll ever bleach my hair again, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever will, but if I wanted to, at least I know that I have only got semi-permanent on my hair, and it's not gonna really be a big massive struggle to lift through the permanent dye to get to whatever colour that I want it to be. So using semi-permanent colours is definitely better, and also I just think the shinier your hair looks, healthier. They're not as harsh on your hair because you're not really using like a strong peroxide. A lot of my clients now that have darker colours, I just use like Redken glosses on them, or like a Wella Colour Fresh, things like that. Something that's really light and will wash out eventually. If you keep on top of it, it's not going to wash out, but if it does wash out, it's not going to wash out and be like a luminous orange, where if you do dye your hair with a permanent colour and then you just leave it and leave it and leave it and leave it, you just end up with a luminous orange hair, or like red tones, orange tones, hideous. So using a semi-permanent colour is definitely a big must, I would say, and it's just kinder to your hair, and that's kinder to your hair at this point, the way forward. Also, I started using professional products. Now I probably was using professional products for a while, but I also used to buy like shitty heat protective sprays from the Home and Bargain, and I just use like any old shampoo that like my boyfriend's nan had in the bathroom, because I just didn't buy my own or take them home. Where now, and for the past few years, I have been so like strict on that, like making sure that like if there's not a professional shampoo in my shower, then I'm not washing my hair. Like it's just that simple. Obviously if you're in a desperate need of situation, then sounds, but you will not catch me putting no head and shoulders on my hair. It is just literally not happening. So professional shampoos, and you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of pounds on professional products. Like there's so many lovely professional shampoos that are affordable. For example, the Goldwell shampoos. Now Goldwell do amazing major shampoos, and they've got so many different types. So there's loads of different ones that you can choose from, and I think they're about £11 for a big massive tub. I get these for like even like my brother and my boyfriend, like even them, I'm like, no, you will use these. You will not be using no fucking shitty ass fucking bed heads and shoulders shite on your hair. You will use these. Even they use them now, and like I say, they're affordable, and if you're buying a big bottle, it'll just last you so much longer anyway, rather than like spending £6 or £7 in the Tesco on shite that's just got a horrible ingredient in, that's just going to make your hair feel awful. I started using Unique One Revlon. If you are not spraying that on your hair every single time before you blow dry your hair, then just like don't even speak to me, because it's 2022, get a grip. Like you need to use that on your hair. Like it will protect it in so many ways. It is honestly the best product that I've ever discovered, and I would never do a blow dry without it. I would never blow dry my own hair without it. I just wouldn't put heat on my hair without using that first. So that is a big must have. Some other products that I like The Milkshake leave-in conditioner, not only does it smell amazing, but it just makes your hair feel lovely and soft and shiny. Any of the Milkshake products, but I'm not going to sit here and list all types of products because I will literally be here all day long and everyone is different and what I use is not necessarily going to work for you. Unique One definitely can work on everyone. If you have got really, really fine hair, then maybe empty half the bottle out and fill the rest of it up with water. And it'll just dilute the spray a little bit and just make it a little bit lighter on your hair, because sometimes it can be a little bit heavy on certain hair types, but it is definite a must-have for everyone. Like everyone, that is the first step in the right direction. The next thing that I will say, which is also a really good tip, if you are someone who is wearing extensions while you are trying to make your hair healthier, just remember that where your extensions are, you do not need to be bleaching, colouring that part of your head. Now this is very controversial and I know that like some hairdressers would literally be like, oh no, but so many of my clients I am the same now with, and the transformations are absolutely amazing. I have one client, Georgia, love you Georgia, she come to me with she was bleaching her own hair, basically the same situation. It was short, it was snapped, it was ruined, and now her hair, and like it was literally to there, and now her hair is like at least to here. It's amazing, in amazing condition, like amazing. And all I did was swap from bleach to a tint, a high lift tint, and then we are now back to highlighting her hair, and all I do is highlight the areas that are visible. We'll do a full head once a year, and then I'll maybe scatter a few foils like around underneath where the extensions are, like once or twice throughout the year, and then just focus on where it is visible. Now if something is not visible in your head, why do you need to colour it? It's hard because not every single person is the same, but in most situations, if you are wearing extensions, you do not need to colour the hair that is either sitting in the extension or sitting underneath the extension, because you cannot see it. If it is really visible, obviously you can do it, and like I say, I will always colour the whole entire head at least once a year, maybe twice, but you don't need to get a full head every single time you go in. Let your hair breathe. If you are bleaching all the underneath your hair and then you're putting a weft on it, what do you think is going to happen? It is going to snap. At least put your weft in where your hair is natural, so that you've got a little bit of like strength in your hair. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to bleach it. It's not gonna look any better or any worse if it's bleached, or it's not, because it's sitting right at the bottom of your head and you cannot see it. So that's another thing that I did. And obviously if you're not someone who has got damaged hair or whatever, then you don't necessarily need to do that. But even with myself now, like I will colour my whole entire head probably 3 times a year, if that. I will, underneath my hair, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, no, not even gonna ask around, but underneath my hair, all year, my root's about that long, my natural root, and you can't see it. You never can see it, unless I knew I was gonna maybe like go on holiday and I'd wear my hair in braids or something like that, but you can't see it, and my hair is so much lighter than what I colour it to. But I don't need to colour it all the time, and I'm only using semis anyway, so it wouldn't really make a difference. But just let your hair breathe. You don't need to colour your whole entire head all the time. When I do my roots now, I just do all my part, all the top section, round my face and round my hairline. You would never know. You would never know. A couple of other things that I would say is to wear scrunchies, or silk scrunchies in your hair. Wear your hair in a loose plait when you are going to sleep. Make sure it's down. Don't be putting your hair up to go to sleep. Do you know what? Don't put your hair up at all if you can help it. When you're putting your hair up, whether you wear extensions or you don't, you are pulling at your hair and pulling at your scalp, and that is not doing you any good. So especially if you have got extensions in, the weight of you pulling your hair in an upwards direction, and then the weight of the pony or the bun or whatever it is, it's not doing your hair any good at all. If anything, it's really, really damaging, and it's damaging to your scalp. If you do want to wear a pony, wear a pony, do you know what I mean? But just try not to wear one every single day, and if you are going to wear one, wear a low one, use a silk scrunchie. Be smart about it. When you're going to sleep overnight, make sure you are thoroughly brushing your hair morning and night before you go to bed. You'll be brushing your hair regularly through the day anyway, but definitely before you go to bed, thoroughly brush your hair, lift your extensions up, brush in between every single row, every tape, every nano, whatever it may be, and make sure that you are thoroughly brushing it through, and then put it in a nice plait or a nice low pony, something that is low and nice and soft, and your hair is not going to tat up in the night. If you are someone with tatty hair, try silk pillows, try even like the silk bonnets. Another main thing is stop washing your hair all the time. Like, stop it. Stop. You're just drying out your hair you're not letting it breathe, you're not letting you get any natural oils, like just stop washing your hair all the time. I really, when I was wearing extensions, I was washing my hair every 10 days, if that, like every week, 7 to 10 days. The best thing I ever did. Wearing extensions does give you that little extra benefit where like your hair will hold for a lot longer. So I used to do a gorgeous fresh blow dry the first day. I'd leave it straight for like a couple of days with it just, you know, freshly blown. Then I would dry shampoo my hair and I would wave it with like the mermaid waver, and that would last me another week then, and I would just leave it. Unless obviously you're going somewhere or something like that, but if you can help it, go as long as you possibly can without washing your hair, because it is going to be the best thing for it. And if you are someone who does wear extensions and you can just like wash the top of your hair, wash the top and wash the bottom and your extensions every other time, because your extensions are going to last you so much longer. If you're not washing them all the time, your extensions aren't getting greasy. Well, they will get greasy a little bit if you left it for a very, very long time, but they're not producing oils themselves, so they're not getting greasy or dirty unless you're putting loads of product in, or like you've been on a night out or something like that. Obviously, wash it after that, that's minty, but if you can help it, don't wash your extensions as much as you will wash your own hair, and just wash the top. Like, when I used to have a fringe, I used to literally wash my fringe and just leave the whole rest of my head, which some people may find minty, but you know what? It helps your hair grow, and it's the best thing for your hair, and no one would ever know. And greasy hair is so much better to style as well when you want to wear it like up or in a bun, or like in a little cute like Kimmy K low pony, you know. And if you are someone who is wearing extensions, make sure that you are getting your hair refitted. Stick within the time frame that your hairdresser has given you. If she has said to you, or he, that you need to come back after every 6 weeks or every 4 weeks, then make sure you are going back every 4 to 6 weeks. Because if you go back after 8 weeks and then you sit there moaning that your hair's tatty, don't moan, because it's your fault. That's your fault. You need to make sure you're sticking within the recommended time frame. And if you're not doing that, then you are the only person to blame, because your hairdresser's on you for that for the reason. They're the professional, they know what's best for you. Listen to them, and eventually after wearing extensions for a while, you'll know when it's time to get them refitted. Now, this is the main thing that I want to talk about, and definitely the most that I get questions on a lot. Now, I suffered a lot when I was younger, just with like me eating and just my lifestyle in general. I just had like such a wish to be skinny, like I genuinely did, and it just made me so unhealthy. Like I used to like not eat as much as I could, and that's a whole story for another time, but it is definitely a point. So I wasn't very healthy at all with the food that I'd eat. I'd try and eat like as little carbs as possible and just try and lose as much weight as I possibly could when I was like younger in school. I was on the pill from probably the age of 13 to 16, and then when I was about 17 I ended up getting the injection, which I lost about 2 stone in 3 months, because I literally just was, I was just ill. I was just so ill, like it was awful. All around that time, and then on following through like using contraception and like not being healthy with myself, and like thinking that like starvation was the way to skinny. Like it just absolutely wasn't. I became really, really weak. Like I am not messing, I was so weak, like so ill all the time. Like you could literally, if you had a cold and you literally went near me, I'd be dying out the next day. Like I had the worst immune system in the whole entire world, which obviously probably played a huge part in the health of my hair as well, because my hair was so unhealthy as well as the whole rest of my body and everything else. It was just, I was just in an awful, all-round awful state. Every single part of me, my nails, I used to be able to literally bend them, like everything. Like it was just awful. My skin was awful, everything was awful. When I was about 18 and like around the time of this, maybe around the time of this disaster, I keep saying my ages, but to be honest, I couldn't tell you what age I was at. I can't really remember, but probably about 18, 19, I went off the pill, the injection, off everything, and started taking contraception, and I was like, right, like, I'm getting myself healthy, like I am. So I started eating well, I started making sure that I was like eating 3 meals a day, eating my vegetables and taking vitamins. Now this is the most, I get so many questions every day, and again, I don't really want to sit here and say, oh, take these vitamins, take this, because I didn't have a clue when I first started. I just started taking vitamins. My mum's always been big on vitamins anyway. She used to always give us them when I lived at home. So I feel like as soon as I moved out and I started, like, I stopped taking them, and I was like taking contraception and all that, I just went downhill. My energy levels, like, the way I felt in myself, like everything was just awful. So I did start taking vitamins. Now it was on and off, on and off, on and off until the first lockdown. Now the first lockdown, I was like, right, I'm on a health journey. I started working out all the time. I started, like I say, eating well and taking my vitamins. And I honestly do genuinely believe that the vitamins is the reason that my hair has grown so much in this time. And the way that I feel, I'm completely different. Like, I was used to work out all the time, like when I was younger and starving to be skinny, and I wouldn't ever like see a difference in my body. I'd get skinnier, but I would never like my bum wouldn't be more pumped, or I would never see like an ab, or like my muscles wouldn't grow, because obviously I had no food in my body. I had no like nutrition in my body, so I didn't have the ability to be able to build the muscle or be healthy in any way. Started taking vitamins. Now I have been taking them religiously now for probably 2.5 years, and I will say this is the healthiest that I have ever been. I eat more now than I've ever ate in my life, and I weigh out not as much as I used to be honest with you, and I'm